Take a moment and ask yourself, what limiting beliefs do I have around wealth? Identify those and replace them with positive affirmations. This shift is what separates those who make it from those who only dream. Speaker 1, Brian Tracy. The first million is the hardest. But once you've made that, the second is inevitable. Now, this isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a truth rooted in financial and entrepreneurial success. And no one explains it quite like Brian Tracy, a master in personal development and success strategies. We're going to explore why that first million is so challenging, how to get there, and here's the best part, why the second million is actually easier. Step 1, the power of mindset. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of numbers and strategies, let's talk about mindset. Brian Tracy emphasizes that everything starts with the way we think. If you believe wealth is only for the privileged, that belief itself will hold you back. On the flip side, when you train your mind to see possibilities, to understand that wealth is achievable, doors start to open. So, here's the first step, believe in the inevitability of your success. Your mindset will shape your actions. And those actions will guide you toward that first million. Brian Tracy shares a powerful approach called the millionaire mindset. 1. Visualize your goals daily, see yourself achieving them. 2. Create a mental picture of your future wealth. 3. Start small but stay consistent. Every small victory builds momentum. The magic here is that once you've mentally achieved your first million, you're already on your way to making it real. Step 2. Building the foundation for your first million. Alright, now let's talk about the practical side of things. Making your first million isn't about one single act or a lucky break. It's about building a system that will continue to grow. Brian Tracy identifies 4 key pillars for financial success that we're going to unpack together. 1. High-income skill. Your high-income skill could be anything from sales, investing, digital marketing, consulting, something that has real market demand, and that you can monetize effectively. The goal is to leverage a skill that can bring in consistent, scalable income. 2. Discipline in savings. Brian stresses that saving is just as important as making money. The path to your first million requires developing smart spending habits. Aim to save 20 to 30% of your income. Then strategically invest these savings. This might mean making short-term sacrifices. But remember, delayed gratification is key. 3. Smart investments. Your savings are a tool to be invested, not just stored. This could be in real estate, stocks, or even small business ventures. Brian suggests researching and understanding different asset classes and deciding which ones align best with your risk tolerance and goals. 4. Networking and connections. This is the often overlooked ingredient to success. Build connections with people who inspire you, who are ahead of you, and who are invested in their growth. Surrounding yourself with other success-driven individuals will give you insights, motivation, and, who knows, maybe even business partners. It's these foundational steps that set you up for that first million. Step 3. Why the second million is easier. Alright. You've done the hard work, now let's get to the good news. Once you hit that first million, your financial life changes dramatically. And here's why the second million is actually easier. 1. Compound growth. Your investments start working for you. If you're reinvesting your returns, your wealth grows at an accelerated pace. Brian Tracy often speaks about the exponential power of compounding. The more you have invested, the faster it grows. 2. Knowledge and experience. By the time you've reached your first million, you've gained a lot of insight. You know which investments work for you. You understand your spending habits. And you've learned from your mistakes the second time around. You're making smarter decisions with fewer hiccups. 3. Enhanced opportunities. Once you reach this milestone, opportunities naturally open up. People start seeing you as a successful person. and new projects or collaborations can come your way. You'll have access to more resources and a stronger network. So that second million doesn't feel so far off. 4. System momentum, the systems you set up to reach your first million? They're now running smoothly. Your income streams are established. Your investment portfolio is growing. And you have momentum on your side. Think of it like pushing a heavy wheel, the initial effort is the hardest. But once it's rolling, it's easier to keep it going. This is the power of momentum. And it's what makes the second million inevitable if you stay on course. Step 4. Common mistakes to avoid. As powerful as this journey is, there are some pitfalls you'll want to avoid. 1. Lifestyle inflation. One of the biggest temptations after hitting that first million is to start spending more. Brian Tracy cautions against increasing your expenses just because you're earning more. Remember, your goal is financial freedom, not financial burden. 2. Neglecting investments. Many people get comfortable with their first million and stop reinvesting. Stay proactive, keep looking for ways to diversify and grow your wealth. 3. Ignoring personal growth. Wealth creation is a journey of personal growth. If you stop learning or improving, you'll lose momentum. Keep reading, networking, and investing in yourself. It's as important as any financial investment. Making your first million is a challenge. But here's the good news, it's an achievable challenge. Brian Tracy has shown us that wealth building is a blend of mindset, discipline, and smart decision-making. With these tools, the first million may be difficult, but the second becomes not just possible, it becomes inevitable. Speaker 2, Jim Rohn, laying the foundation for your first million. Jim Rohn, a true pioneer of personal development, emphasizes that building your first million isn't just about money. It's about who you become in the process. Focus on self-discipline. Jim Rohn taught that self-discipline is a foundational skill. He famously said, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment." Building discipline in small things, daily habits, routines. Consistency sets the tone for financial growth. Invest in yourself. Rohn was a strong advocate of lifelong learning. He believed that investing in yourself through books, seminars, and mentorships leads to exponential personal growth. He'd say, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. This mindset shift is key for making that first million. Value creation. Rohn believed the first step to wealth is adding value to the lives of others. He often asked, how can I create something valuable? It's this focus that allows you to earn sustainably. Rohn's perspective helps us remember that the first million is about character as much as wealth. Speaker 3, Tony Robbins, building momentum after your first million. Tony Robbins, a modern motivational powerhouse, teaches that the hardest part is starting, but once you've hit your stride, the second million comes faster. Here's why. The power of compounding. Robbins emphasizes the magic of compounding, which works like a snowball effect. Once you've made that first million, your wealth has the potential to grow almost automatically. He says, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but what we do consistently. Systems and leverage. Robbins discusses the power of leverage. He says that building systems, whether in business or investments, is crucial to multiplying your wealth. Using automation, delegating, and relying on teams can help grow wealth more efficiently and sustainably. Mindset shift, abundance over scarcity. A powerful lesson Robbins teaches is moving from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. After reaching the first million, your focus can shift from survival to growth. This allows you to take calculated risks that can lead to even greater success and foster returns. Tony Robbins reminds us that after the first million, our strategy changes from just earning to growing sustainably. Speaker 4, Napoleon Hill, Unlocking the Mental Blueprint for Wealth. Blueprint builders. Did you hear that? I love that word, mental blueprint for wealth. Napoleon Hill, the father of success philosophy, explored the psychology behind wealth building. His principles highlight that the path to the first million lies in your thoughts, and the second million follows with the same discipline. Definiteness of purpose. Hill believed that setting a clear, definite goal is the first step. He wrote, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Knowing precisely why you want to make your first million creates a powerful, focused energy that drives action. The mastermind principle. Hill championed the power of surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who support your goals. Hill's mastermind principle is about leveraging knowledge, experience, and motivation from a network that pushes you forward. Persistence over time. Persistence, according to Hill, is what separates success from failure. Hill's message is clear: most people give up on their journey to the first million. However, those who stay the course and adapt will see their hard work compound into that second million. Nurturing a strong, determined mindset, as Hill teaches, is the blueprint to turning your first million into many more. To make your first million, focus on discipline, skill building, and clarity of purpose. After that, wealth compounds as systems, confidence, and mindset shifts take you further. Additional section, Real-World Millionaires' Journeys. Let's dive into some inspiring real-world examples of people who built their first million from scratch. How they did it, and what helped them quickly reach their second million. Story 1, Sarah Blakely, Spanx founder. Sarah Blakely is a self-made billionaire who turned her idea for women's shapewear into a global brand. Step 1, spotting a gap in the market. Sarah saw a need for women's shapewear and took a risk by investing her life savings of $5,000 into developing her product, Spanx. She believed in her product so deeply that she handled everything herself, from prototyping to marketing. Her willingness to be hands-on with her first venture laid the groundwork for her success. Step 2, embracing persistence. Sarah faced numerous rejections from manufacturers, but she didn't give up. Her persistence led her to eventually find a partner willing to produce her product, proving the value of resilience. How she made the second million. With her first million earned through initial sales, her success snowballed. She reinvested her profits into marketing and expansion, creating brand loyalty and leveraging word-of-mouth advertising. Sarah's story is a reminder that once you create value and establish a customer base, the next million comes from scaling and building on that initial success. Story 2, Damon John, founder of FUBU. Damon John, founder of FUBU and a Shark Tank investor, turned his passion for fashion into a multi-million-dollar brand. Here's how he made his first million, and then doubled it. Step 1, starting small and staying resourceful. Damon started with only $40 and a passion for streetwear. He stitched his early designs by hand and hustled to get his clothes worn by influencers in the hip-hop scene. By focusing on a niche market and creating a strong brand, he was able to grow from humble beginnings. Step 2, partnerships and networking. Damon understood the power of networking. He partnered with people who could promote his brand, like musicians, to build FUBU's reputation. How he made the second million. After reaching his first million, Damon scaled his business internationally by establishing manufacturing partnerships and licensing deals, rapidly multiplying his earnings. His journey shows that building the right connections and taking advantage of growth opportunities can make the second million easier. Story 3, Barbara Corcoran, real estate mogul. Barbara Corcoran, who built a real estate empire from a $1,000 loan, has become a household name. Here's how she achieved her first million and then scaled up. Step 1. Turning $1,000 into a real estate business. Barbara borrowed $1,000 from her then-boyfriend to start her own real estate firm. She had no prior experience, but she focused on marketing creatively to stand out in a crowded market. Her determination and innovative approach to promoting properties helped her quickly gain traction and clients. Step 2. Building a brand and expanding services. Barbara's ability to brand herself and provide exceptional service created a strong reputation. She became known for her expertise and approach, which allowed her to dominate her market niche. How she made the second million. Once she hit her first million, Barbara expanded her services by hiring and training a team, multiplying her reach and client base. Her journey underscores that expanding your team and services can accelerate growth and help you reach the next million faster. Each story teaches us that making the first million requires dedication, persistence, and innovation. The second million? That's built by scaling, reinvesting, and capitalizing on the systems and brand you've created. Story 4. Aliko Dangote, the power of diversification. Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, started with a small loan and transformed it into a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Starting small, from a local trading business to global conglomerate, Dangote started his journey in 1977 with a loan from his uncle to trade basic goods like rice, sugar, and cement in Nigeria. He consistently reinvested his profits to expand his business, strategically targeting high-demand goods to generate steady income. Taking calculated risks, Dangote soon saw the potential in manufacturing rather than just trading. He invested in cement production, a move that catapulted his company to the forefront of African business. His first million was earned through calculated risk-taking and strategic diversification. How he made the second million. With his first major success in cement, he diversified into other industries like sugar, flour, and salt, creating the Dangote Group. His story illustrates that once you make your first million, diversifying your investments and reinvesting in strategic ventures can help grow your wealth. Story 5. Jason Njoku, building wealth through digital media. Jason Njoku, a Nigerian entrepreneur, co-founded Irokot, Africa's leading streaming platform for Nollywood movies. Identifying a niche, Nollywood streaming, Njoku saw an opportunity to bring Nollywood movies to a wider audience through online streaming. With minimal resources, he started licensing movies and built Irokot to serve millions of viewers across the continent. By tapping into Nigeria's booming entertainment industry, he made his first million by filling a demand in digital content. Persistence in the face of challenges. Despite early struggles and financial setbacks, Njoku persisted, attracting investors and scaling his business. His ability to stay resilient allowed him to establish a leading brand. How he made the second million. With his platform established, Njoku expanded Irokot's offerings and partnered with international streaming services. His story emphasizes that after hitting the first million, scaling up through partnerships and technology can make the second million achievable. Story 6. Dr. Osei Kwame Despite, from humble beginnings to business mogul. Dr. Osei Kwame Despite, a Ghanaian entrepreneur, grew his fortune by diversifying into various industries, from media to manufacturing, turning small ventures into big opportunities. Starting with selling music cassettes in the 1980s, Dr. Despite grew his business by identifying new opportunities in various sectors. He made his first million by gradually expanding his business into food production, building a reputation for quality and reliability in Ghana. Building a business empire through diversification. Dr. Despite is known for the Despite Group, a conglomerate with interests in media, food, and finance. His first million came from a small venture. But his empire grew by seizing new opportunities. How he made the second million. After achieving his initial success, Dr. Despite invested in media and other profitable sectors, allowing him to grow exponentially. His story shows that once the foundation is in place, expanding into high-growth sectors and diversifying your portfolio can accelerate wealth building. These African success stories remind us that making the first million often requires resilience, innovation, and taking calculated risks. The second million? That comes from scaling, diversifying, and reinvesting. Story 7, Folorunsho Alakija, From Fashion to Oil Empire. Folorunsho Alakija, one of Nigeria's most successful female entrepreneurs, went from starting a fashion brand to becoming a billionaire in the oil industry. Starting with passion and hard work, Folorunsho began her career in fashion with a small tailoring business, Supreme Stitches, which she grew by creating unique, high-quality designs for high-profile clients. She made her first million by establishing herself as a trusted, innovative designer in Nigeria's fashion industry. Boldly seizing new opportunities, she expanded into the oil business, where she acquired a significant oil exploration license in the 1990s. A bold and challenging move for a woman in a male-dominated field. Her courage to step into a new industry and navigate the challenges led her to amass incredible wealth and influence. How she made the second million. With her first major oil venture's success, Alakija reinvested in the energy sector and expanded her portfolio. Today, her company Famfa Oil stands as a powerful entity in Nigerian oil. Her journey teaches that embracing new challenges and stepping outside your comfort zone can unlock exponential wealth opportunities. Folorunsho Alakija's story shows that resilience, innovation, and the willingness to diversify are keys to wealth building. We've covered a lot in our live today. The strongest point that all these legends highlight is the power of reinvesting and scaling. Each of them reached their first million through hard work, resilience, and identifying a unique market opportunity. But to make their second million and beyond, they didn't just stop at that first success. They reinvested profits back into their businesses, expanded into new sectors, and scaled up their operations. This approach allowed them to build on their initial achievements and create sustainable, growing wealth. In essence, their journeys teach us that the first million is about getting started, but the second million is about strategic growth, scaling up, diversifying, and continually reinvesting to build a lasting legacy. Each of these millionaires teaches us that building wealth isn't about luck. It's about resilience, strategy, and taking smart risks. The first million may be challenging, but remember, if you build a strong foundation, the second million is truly inevitable. Hey, thanks so much for staying with me till the very end. You've shown the kind of commitment and hunger that it really takes to reach new levels in life. So as a thank you, I want to dive into a deeper conversation with you. A bonus section, if you will. Let's talk about what makes that first million feel so tough and why. Once you make it, the second can feel almost inevitable. And I mean really dive into it. Taking you through what it takes, the mindset shifts, and strategies that can make all the difference. Section 1, Why the First Million is so challenging. 1. The struggles of starting from scratch. Let's face it, building that first million is tough because, for most of us, it means starting from scratch. We don't have the connections, the funding, or the roadmap. That first big goal is all about learning the hard way, trial and error, facing setbacks, and figuring out what works. Think about the way we go into this journey, optimistic but also a bit clueless. Right? And that's okay. Almost every successful person has started in that place. The journey to your first million is about resilience. You'll feel lost, and you'll want to give up sometimes. But pushing through that phase is where the magic happens. 2. Building the foundation and developing financial discipline. Here's another truth: the first million demands financial discipline. You'll have to change your relationship with money, cut back on unnecessary spending, and develop the habit of saving and reinvesting. You can't grow if you're constantly draining your resources. Imagine your finances as a garden. You have to put in the work, nurture it, pull out the weeds, and keep at it even when you don't see immediate results. You're building a foundation that will support everything else you build in the future. 3. Learning to take risks and make decisions with real-life examples. This is the part that really differentiates people who make it and those who don't. The first million requires you to step outside your comfort zone, take risks, and, yes, sometimes fail. Every self-made millionaire has had a moment when they had to take a big leap of faith. Let's talk about someone like Folorunsho Alakija from Nigeria, who started in fashion and later transitioned into oil. She didn't know everything about the oil industry when she took that leap, but she was willing to learn, adapt, and grow. It was a calculated risk, and it paid off tremendously. But it started with her first venture, the foundation that allowed her to go bigger. Section 2, the mindset shift: why the second million feels inevitable. 1. The power of confidence and experience. Once you make that first million, you have confidence and experience that can't be bought. You've learned how to handle money, manage people, and keep your eye on the bigger picture. By the time you hit your first million, you know what works, and that knowledge becomes your greatest asset. The second million feels easier because you're no longer in the dark. Think about it like this: the first time you're learning to ride a bike, it's tough. But once you get it, it becomes almost second nature. That's how wealth building works, too. 2. Leveraging your network and resources. You know, when you're starting out, your network might be small, and you may not have people in your corner. But as you start making progress, you meet like-minded individuals, mentors, and collaborators. This network becomes a huge asset for your next level of growth. Networking might sound intimidating, but let me tell you, it doesn't have to be. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who share your vision, and who can teach you something. Successful people know the value of partnerships. That's why the second million feels inevitable. You're no longer alone. Section 3, strategies to make the first million. 1. Finding and dominating your niche. To make that first million, focus on a niche. A lot of people try to be everything for everyone, but the truth is, if you can solve a specific problem for a specific group of people, you'll see more growth. Find a niche you're passionate about, and give it your all. Think of Damon John, who started FUBU in the niche of hip-hop fashion. He wasn't trying to compete with every fashion label out there. He focused on a specific market, owned that space, and grew from there. 2. Scaling up and reinventing yourself. Once you've found a profitable niche and made some initial gains, think about scaling. Reinvest in your business, expand your offerings, or even start something new with the earnings from your first venture. For instance, let's look at Aliko Dangote. He started with basic consumer goods like cement and sugar. But once he mastered those, he expanded into other industries. He reinvested his gains to multiply his streams of income. The lesson here? Don't be afraid to evolve and grow beyond your initial focus. 3. Building a team and automating processes. This is one of the most overlooked strategies for making wealth. If you're doing everything alone, your growth is limited by your own capacity. But when you build a team and start automating parts of your process, you free up time and energy to focus on high-value tasks. Section 4, practical steps to make the second million inevitable. 1. Diversifying income streams. The second million comes from diversifying. Whether it's investing in real estate, stocks, or even another business, Find additional ways to let your money work for you. When you have multiple sources of income, you're no longer as vulnerable to economic shifts. Take someone like Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. His wealth didn't just come from one stream. He invested in assets, started businesses, and made smart investments. That's the kind of mindset that makes the second million almost inevitable. 2. Focusing on passive income. By the time you reach your first million, you've already got assets and investments. Now's the time to focus on building more passive income streams. Look for ways to earn without trading time for money. Real estate rentals, dividend-paying stocks, royalties, these all add up over time. For instance, the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. The more streams you have working for you, the more your wealth grows without requiring direct effort. And that's how the second million becomes almost automatic. 3. Staying consistent and patient. The final strategy? Patience and consistency. Wealth building isn't a one-time sprint. It's a marathon. By the time you've reached your first million, you understand the value of staying consistent. Don't let excitement for quick gains lead you to make impulsive decisions. Take it from someone like Warren Buffett. He didn't become one of the wealthiest people overnight. He stuck to his principles, made disciplined investments, and let compound growth work its magic. Section 5. Real-life stories of the second million. Example 1. Oprah Winfrey, building an empire from a talk show. Oprah made her first million from her talk show, but she didn't stop there. She expanded into media ownership, created her own network, and built a brand empire. The second million, and many more after that, came from leveraging her initial success into bigger opportunities. Example 2. Elon Musk reinventing wealth creation. Elon Musk made millions from selling Zip2. But he reinvested those earnings into ventures like PayPal, Tesla, and SpaceX. Musk's journey shows that the second million, and the billions after that, come from continually pushing limits and reinvesting gains. The strongest point that all these legends highlight is the power of reinvesting and scaling. Each of them reached their first million through hard work, resilience, and identifying a unique market opportunity. But to make their second million and beyond, they didn't just stop at that first success. They reinvested profits back into their businesses, expanded into new sectors, and scaled up their operations. This approach allowed them to build on their initial achievements and create sustainable, growing wealth. In essence, their journeys teach us that the first million is about getting started, but the second million is about strategic growth, scaling up, diversifying, and continually reinvesting to build a lasting legacy. Alright, you've made it through. I hope this bonus insight gave you not only inspiration, but a clear idea of what it takes to make wealth building a reality. If you're working toward your first million, keep pushing. Remember that all the lessons, failures, and challenges are preparing you for what comes next. So, what's your next move? If you're ready to commit to this journey, if you're willing to invest in your growth and believe in your potential, then you're already on your way. Take it step by step, stay consistent, and watch as each effort brings you closer to financial freedom. By the time you hit that first big milestone, you'll be equipped with everything you need to make the second one feel almost inevitable. You're already on this journey, keep learning, growing, and, most importantly, believe in yourself. You've got this, and I can't wait to see what you achieve, dear friends. We've covered a lot in our live today. The strongest point that all these legends highlight is the power of reinvesting and scaling. Each of them reached their first million through hard work, resilience, and identifying a unique market opportunity. But to make their second million and beyond, they didn't just stop at that first success. They reinvested profits back into their businesses, expanded into new sectors, and scaled up their operations. This approach allowed them to build on their initial achievements and create sustainable, growing wealth. In essence, their journeys teach us that the first million is about getting started, but the second million is about strategic growth, scaling up, diversifying, and continually reinvesting to build a lasting legacy. Each of these millionaires teaches us that building wealth isn't about luck. It's about resilience, strategy, and taking smart risks. The first million may be challenging, but remember, if you build a strong foundation, the second million is truly inevitable.